As people of faith, we know that religion has caused harm to the transgender community. Religion is being used by many to justify discrimination and to spread false narratives. As people of faith and conscience, we oppose the use of religion to cause harm, and we recognize our responsibility to articulate a different moral vision and to commit to providing a safe and sacred space to people of all gender identities and expressions. We believe that religious freedom means the freedom to practice our faith, not to deny other people their rights or impose our beliefs on others. We know that gender is a complex and sacred gift, and we honor the breathtaking diversity of creation. The belief in the inherent dignity and worth of all people is a fundamental, deeply rooted belief that is common to many faiths. Acknowledging the dignity and worth of transgender people requires going beyond a profession of belief. It calls for advocacy and just treatment in society. People of faith must strive towards a more just society, one that allows transgender people to live and flourish in all aspects of life. This is the work of transgender justice, and we commit to that work. You are beautiful, you are precious, and you are all sacred. Let your light shine brightly. The stronger you allow your light to shine, the more the world will be blessed. God bless you, and thank you for blessing us. Our MC today is Rachael Luckey, who continues to be a fierce advocate for the transgender community. Recently seated on the Rampart Village Neighborhood Council as an at-large representative, she is now one of the only 8 openly transgender elected government officials in the nation. Only 8. She is the first person of transgender experience to hold an executive officer position with the Stonewall Democratic Club, and has been crucial in making sure the T is not silent when decisions are being made. Rachael is also involved with the LAPD LGBT working group and sits on one of the LA Cares community advisory committees. She has a singular overriding belief that diversity is our strength. Please welcome Rachael Rose Luckey.
The only way that I will rest in peace is if one day transgender people aren't treated the way I was, but that they're treated like humans with valid feelings and human rights. My death needs to mean something. My death needs to be counted in the number of transgender people who commit suicide this year. I want somebody to look at that number and say, that's messed up, and fix it. Fix society, please. These were the final words of a transgender teen just before she stepped in front of a Mack truck on a freeway 4 days after Christmas in 2014. She felt so completely hopeless, so completely isolated, so completely, utterly alone, she felt she had no other option. Her name was Leela, and she gave us all, trans and cisgender alike, a very powerful call to action. You don't have to like me. Just don't try to kill me. This is what Kristen Beck said to Anderson Cooper in an interview. These few simple words embody what it means to be transgender in today's society. We all just want to live a peaceful life in a safe society, as each of us sees fit, without interference from Christian supremacists or the Trump administration.
Yeah, this one is. I don't know.
Isn't that what the American promise is all about? The promise that all Americans can live free with dignity. The promise that all Americans can live free with the same chances for a better future for ourselves and our children. The promise that all Americans can live free to practice the religion of our choice and of our ancestors. The promise that all Americans can live free from violence. The plain, simple promise that we can all just live free. Those against us who feel they are superior are trying to break the American promise. And we must rise up, arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder, and with one clear, undeniable voice simply say, no. We will say no to police shooting unarmed black people. We will say no to discrimination of LGBTQ people. We will say no to ripping apart the families of undocumented people. We will say no to denigrating others' religion. We will say no to the poisoning of Mother Earth. We will say no to these things and more because it is the right thing to do. We will look injustice in the eye, and with determined resolution in our hearts, we will say no. All of these things affect our community. Our community has been and still is under attack. Bathroom bounties have been placed on our heads. HB 2 happened. In more than half the states in the Union, trans folks can still legally be denied employment, housing, health care just for being trans. The deportation of trans people is a certain death sentence back in their home country. Just in the first months of this year, we are seeing what feels like one trans murder a week, and if this trend continues, this will become one of the deadliest years for our community. But I can't hate them for being who they are because they too are my brothers and sisters. Instead, my heart is heavy because I know they could be so much more. Within each of us is the innate ability to rise above barbarity. Deep down, each of us knows which paths are of light and which paths are of darkness. But with defiant love in our hearts, we can change paths by standing in solidarity in light of truth and justice. As Martin Luther King told us, let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. It is not enough to sit idly by either. It is not enough to just keep our heads down and hope they don't come for us. It is not enough to go about your day as if everything is normal, because there is no conceivable way that what is coming out of Washington, D.C. could ever be considered normal. We will not stay in our closets or hide in our homes. We will not confine ourselves to our churches, synagogues, and mosques. We will gather, organize, and act. Each of you has a part to play in the resistance. We will protest in the city centers. We will sit in the Capitol buildings and City Hall. We will fill the courthouse galleries. We will chain our together and block the streets. They will feel our disdain. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to be free, breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. From that lamp shines unquestionable freedom. From that lamp shines unquestionable justice. From that lamp shines the overwhelming light which will cast out bigotry and racism. So raise your lights high so that dark hearts might find the truth. Together, as one diverse nation, we will build a world where love and tolerance prevails. This and more is why we are here today, united in trans resistance. We will send a message out to all those who seek to harm us. We will not be bullied. We will not be silenced. We will not waver in our resolve to stand up to racism, bigotry, and transphobia. We will stand tall. We will fight back. We will be visible.